Hi everyone, Sumit Chandra this side, and I welcome you to our channel Solution Bridge Network and one-stop solution for all your Power Platform tutorials. In our previous video, we looked at how we can use Microsoft Fabric pipeline to automate the refresh of a data flow, then refresh the semantic model once data flow refresh is completed. So, if you have not watched that video yet, I would recommended watching it because it will give you a good understanding of the overall refresh architecture. Now, in today's video, we are going to implement the same requirement using Power Automate. So, instead of using Fabric pipelines, we will create a Power Automate cloud flow that will orchestrate the entire refresh process. We will trigger the data flow refresh first, wait for the refresh to complete, then check the refresh status, and only when the data flow has successfully completed the refresh, we will trigger the semantic model refresh. And finally, we will also see how we can handle failure notifications. So, if you are working with Power BI, Microsoft Fabric, data flows, semantic models, and Power Automate, this is going to be a very useful practical example. Let's get started. Before jumping into Power Automate, let's understand what we are going to build. Our requirement is straightforward. We have a data flow that loads and transforms our data. Then we have a semantic model that uses this data, and finally our Power BI reports that are connected to the semantic model. Here you can see from the lineage view. This is our data flow, and we are loading and transforming the data from a SharePoint using this data flow. Based on this data flow, we have created this semantic model, and after that, with this data, we have created a Power BI report. Let me move to the list view again. So the refresh frequency would be step 1, refresh the data flow. Step 2, wait for data flow refresh completion. Then refresh the semantic model, and at last we can send notification in case our report refresh or data flow refresh has failed. We don't want the semantic model to start refreshing while the data flow is still processing the data. Otherwise, the semantic model could potentially refresh using data that has not been completely updated. So now we are in the prod workspace, and this is our data flow. So first we'll refresh this data flow, then we will wait till the refresh is completed. After that, we will initiate the semantic model refresh. This is a semantic model, and once our semantic model refresh, automatically our BI report will also be refreshed. In case of any failure, either in data flow refresh or semantic model refresh, we will send notification to the users. For the same, now we will create a Power Automate flow. I am inside Power Automate now. Now let me click on New Flow. So from here, we will create a automated cloud flow to make the process simple. Let me click on automated cloud flow, and let me put a name. So I put the name as data flow and semantic model refresh. So here I am checking automated cloud flow, and here my trigger would be when a data flow refresh completed. So let me search data flow. So here you can see we have this trigger when a data flow refresh completes. So instead of refreshing the data flow from Power Automate, we will schedule our data flow refresh. Otherwise, in the Power Automate, whenever we refresh the data flow, then again we need to wait till the data flow refresh is completed, and then we can execute the semantic model refresh. So instead of this, if we schedule a data flow, it would be easier to manage. So let me come to data flow, and here if we click on this triple dot, we have an option called schedule, and here let me add a schedule. So let's say for example we need to refresh it daily. Let me choose a time. So let's say for example we need to refresh it daily 9 a.m. If you want to refresh it multiple times, you can add the time, and from here you can select the time zone, end date time, and you can click on save. Before clicking on save, here I can put the email IDs to whom we wanted to notify in case of data flow refresh failure. So let me put my email ID. So I selected my email ID. In any case, if my data flow refresh fails, I will get a notification, and here we can add the required users so that in case of any failure, they will get the notification. Let me hit on save button. Let me close this window. So this would be our trigger. So our trigger would be whenever this data flow refresh completed, either it's a scheduled refresh or on demand refresh, it will trigger the flow. So let me click on create. Let me expand this, and from here we need to configure. So in group type, we need to select the workspace. In group, we need to select the workspace name. So our workspace name is prod, and in data flow we need to select the data flow name. So here our data flow name is L2. So here if I go to Power BI, here you can see our workspace name is prod and our data flow name is L2. Now let me come here, and now we will add an action. So once it's finished, now we will search for Power BI, and from Power BI you can select refresh a dataset. So today our Power Automate flow will be very simple, and here we just need to configure the workspace. So from the workspace drop down we need to select the workspace where we published our semantic model, and in dataset we need to select the semantic model name, and that's it. So here our flow will be triggered when our data flow refresh has been completed, and then it will initiate the refresh of our semantic model. Now we need to click on save button to save this flow. So our flow is ready to go. Now we need to test it. Let me hit on back button. So here in 28-day run history, you can see we don't have any run history. So to trigger this now, let me come to our workspace, and let me refresh our data flow now manually. So I hit on refresh button, and here you can see our data flow refresh has started. Let's wait till our data flow refresh completed, and then we'll check that our Power Automate flow will automatically triggered and start refreshing our semantic model. So you can see the data flow refresh is in process. Let me click on this triple dot, and here we can see the run history. So this is in process. You can check it from here. Now you can see our refresh has succeeded. So our refresh is successful. Let's close this and you can see the refresh time is updated. Now let's go to the Power Automate flow and check the run history. Let me hit on all runs. And here you can see our Power Automate flow has also executed and it's successful. So our flow ran successfully. So it has triggered when the data flow refresh has completed and it's initiate our semantic model refresh. Now let us go to the workspace again and check our semantic model is still refreshing. So if I come here and if we see the refresh history, here you can see now our semantic model has refreshed via API. Now let's compare this approach with the fabric pipeline approach that we already discussed in the previous video. With fabric pipeline, we can visually create the dependencies, data flow, semantic model, notifications. And fabric pipeline is especially designed for data orchestration. With Power Automate, we can achieve the same result using trigger, actions, conditions, loops, and connectors. If your requirement is primarily data orchestration inside Microsoft Fabric, I would generally prefer Fabric Pipeline. But if your requirement combines data refresh and business workflows and notification, Power Automate can be a very powerful option. So that's how we can automate data flow and semantic model refresh using Power Automate. The key concept is not simply triggering a refresh. The important part is creating the correct dependency and refresh sequence. The data flow needs to complete the refresh successfully first. Then the semantic model should initiate the refresh. And finally, we can notify the users about the outcome, especially in case of any failure. So whether you choose Fabric Pipeline or Power Automate depends on your overall requirement and the ecosystem in which you are building your solution. Hope you found this video helpful. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, hit the like button and press the bell icon for the new video alerts.